in April this year. So as he was retiring, he felt the daughter needed a ministry position. He knew it was going to be a hard script to bring on my table, so he said, you see, you can have Precision Hub, but you need also that government name. And I'm like, I can build a government name. So he had to take me on a date of, we're having dinner, and it's like, I'm going to pay for that dinner, but I need to talk to you, I'm your father. And I'm like, you see, you're talking to me because you retired from government. But after you step out, and we had that conversation 5 days before he totally quit. And I told him, I want you to sit in the house together with mom, and you are being called a pensioner, and you have no business to your name because he didn't really plan business-wise. He just was loyal to government. And you who feels very energetic, because at 60 you still feel strong, and no one is calling to tell you, please come to the office, we need you to sign the checks. You are going to really feel the pinch. And you'll wish you had done what I have done at my age. And like, karma is such a... It played out a month later, so he called and says, my daughter, I am tired of being home. I feel as a teacher, I can even start a nursery school. I have the money. I can start a nursery school, I can do administration, I'll hire teachers. And in my head, I'm like, you could have done that 15 years ago. You're telling us now. Now, the same one he was turning back to employment, he has had to buy my services as a consultant to design for him a school he wants to set up. How amazing it is to now sell to him. Because when he came to me and said, so how much would you charge? I did my quotation. Because now I'm going as a service provider. I'm not going to serve my father. It's business. Because now I have to bring my team, I have to pay salaries. They have to go make site visits, and we advise whether the school will work out. But this could have been done 15 years before Carol thought of business anyway. And maybe now we'll also be serving with him in that business as part of income streams. Now don't delay you. I know you can stay in that job without quitting. You can be the founder of your business. I am not one of those people that will tell you, quit your job and come and do this. You can build systems and manage a team. And if you're already out like some of us, don't think one income stream. There's a difference between product lines and income streams. I want to clarify that. There are people who think if there are 15 products in their business, those are income streams. No, those are product lines. The income stream is still that same business. That's why I like to encourage people that if you're starting a business and you're registering, it is okay to dream big and call yourself group of companies. So all your other products just fit within the group of companies. You can have on one side foods and beverages. Another one is services. Another one is transport. It's the group of companies. So that you're also not hustling with so many registrations in between. I'm sure the team is setting us up, but I want to take questions. What is that difficult thing you have? I'll push back a question. You respond to it, but also ask your question. Between January to June, what was the hardest thing about marketing that you dealt with? Yeah? That has pushed you to a space where at some point you even felt I could give up. Yeah? And also in the same period, there is also someone who is not attending this kind of training for the first time. As soon as they step out of here, then another voice tells them, "Mkwano gwange tolota. Be comfortable, manya jova." Because there are also those voices that will speak to us. Why? Because we are different personality types. There are those who run. There are those who want to reflect. There are those who say, let me see if it works out. If it works out for Jocelyn, then I can try. If it works out for Julius, then I can try. One of the things I like about Julius, in his product line, he has opted for research extensively. But I also find him the cheapest person on the market for that product. So I'd be shocked if someday he came to me and said someone considered him expensive. Before I buy from anyone, even the ones I know, I ask for invoices from 6 people. Now, the 6 people I already know their quality. So it means I will buy from any of you. So I will give you the exact things. I want A, B, C, D. How much would you charge? Between Julius and the highest price, there was a difference of 1.1 million for the same service. But we're buying the same product. And then what I did, because they also know him, so I went to their inboxes today and said, I bought Julius instead of you. And they said, Carol, how? I'm like, he gives me the same quality you give me, and I save 1.1 million. One of them got mad, said, what did you say? I'm like, yes, you're good, but you're expensive. Because I have given you a flyer. I've showed you how much people are paying. You're charging me almost the price of the people in the room. So it means you're actually telling me, I go with nothing. So it's like, I can give you a free package next time. I'm like, be sure because Julius will give me that difference, I will still buy from him the next item. We can negotiate you on the 3rd item. Now that happens to us many times in business. We want to close this client so highly because we think they can pay more, or we know they can pay more. So we practice price discrimination on one who has options on you. You will lose the market. One of the things Julius knows that I always tell him, I tell him, you're too cheap. I tell that to him all the time. That's why if I had an opportunity where I know the price they have to offer, and I'm referring him, I will tell him the price ahead of time, so that he's able to close at a high value. Now you also need to know your market well enough to that level, so that you sell, and whenever you're selling, sell at your wow, at all times. Avoid statements like, they even give small money. Every time, give your clients the wow experience. Do I feel like when Julius came to sell to us today, they gave us their wow? I haven't seen the product. But because he knows me, yeah? He knows branding is important to me. So what I don't know is whether he came to the room yesterday and found out that the room was black and white and presented me a team in black and white. For me, that sold everything. Like, I don't care how the photos will look like. I don't care what the quality will look like. He sold to me already. The rest will handle it if they have glitches later. Is that what your clients experience when they buy from you? Do they say, wow, I'm impressed before I even consume it? Or they say, ha, you know, sometimes we get that kind of feedback of your packaging killed out of the market before they consume. Then when they eventually get to consume, don't wait for people to unveil the package. Stay at wow from the beginning to the end. You get what I mean? So with that, I'm going to allow questions in the room, because we have 6 months for someone with 8,000 to make 43 million. Because me, myself, and I, plus my crazy team of the business development unit, we will be in your inboxes every day. For that one item, not because you're bringing the money to us, but because we know you have the potential. So we're going to force that potential out of you. Not that you pay us for it. I also have to give that disclaimer. But because we owe it to ourselves, that you need to move. We benefit nothing. by you attending a training like this tomorrow, and another training, and another training, that you get known for attending trainings and not doing anything. So that we move. Vicky, do you have a question? Not now. But not now. Anyone with a question? Sure.
I'm saying, Joy, you mentioned about packaging and
Yes.
mentioned about packaging and price discrimination. So, how would I go when I package my St. John for people in Toronto, the same grams, and people in Namasupa? Are you getting my question?
Yes, yeah.
Won't that be price discrimination?
So, price discrimination holds true for many different products. And it also holds true for your products. For instance, this is how we manage price discrimination from a product line that we manage, the juice chain. When I come to pitch Elijah, the son of an enemy, I do not come to him and ask him how much is your budget. Because I know he already knows what he's going to do. So I ask him questions like, how many clients? He'll probably tell me, we have about 500 guests. So, okay, do you have a nurturing team? No, we haven't thought of hiring a nurturing company. Okay, so I'm asking questions before I give him advice. Yeah. Then I ask him, do you have an events manager? And they will tell me, no, we don't have an events manager or service provider. I'm asking him those questions because I know the caliber that is going to be at the event. Because if I fail to serve him right, all the MPs that will come will never buy us again. I'll have closed the market with that geographical scope. So then I tell him, before I let you know the price, this is what the package entails. The product I'm going to give you comes with 8 ushers. It has fruits as dessert, free for all your participants, and the fruits will give you will be an apple and a pear. So the reason why I'm giving you a pear is I know the grades of the people coming will resonate with an apple or a pear. They will have access to grapes. So all these things are already sold in the package. So it looks like too good to be true. So I've already counted 500 people, how many apples? You get? So it's clear, I have already computed, and I know I'm actually just reselling. But you look like I just gave it. You get? Grapes, someone will eat the whole package. And not all will eat. Now, in our display, in our minds we have already computed, that they are what they call artificial fruits. They lay the base of the packaging. So we lay the entire foundation with the plastic fruits and real fruits on top. So it will look like we have so many fruits on sides. And because they are the who is who in this country, they are not going to come with Moluches and Twala apple, no? And in fact, those ones we even don't take Bogoya to their events. We take the small bananas. But if I was going to my everyday community here, I have to take Bogoya because someone wants to eat the Bogoya and feel full. They won't eat the banana even feel like they have really eaten the banana. But this one is covered. We just have happened when we're not going to take the fruits. Our everyday community is the maybe is the young ones. Okay? These ones, the glass alone is enough. Let me go ahead and tell you, on this package, we appreciate that we need to respect the environment. I mean, he's just a government official likely they have negotiated someone. They have negotiated someone who has told them, I'll give you passion plain, I'll give you pineapple plain. For us, we have told you, you have a selection of a cocktail ahead of time. What people don't know that is whether it's a cocktail or plain, the price is the same. So people would not even be making people one-off juices. We learned that it's the same. Now, after all that, with that, their mind is already computing. This person is going to ask me for 20 million. They say, for that, I'll do it at 8 million only. Do you have questions? Hardly have those clients told us, can we negotiate? We have closed, and they have said, book that date. I have booked you for that date. I can tell you that December, the last week of December, we have a client for each of these days, those days already for events. And it's usually the high-end customers, because they experienced you at an event somewhere, negotiating them has always been easy. Now, that is Elijah in Kololo. Then there is Caro in Lueza. I think I can get my family members to serve. So I don't even start with the thing, come with Asha, no. I go straight up, said, do you see a car? A jerrycan is 200,000. Ngo sera. Antu mnange juu iso yali mwe birungu bino na bino na bino. Now, while I'm closing them off, they probably talk to someone who offers at 150. But it's the 111. Now they're excited. And I've also added, I can bring you samples. But I don't want to buy the samples. No, it's free. The samples are free, please. So I get you my best samples of all the cocktails. Now you've taken the juice, you're even embarrassed. Should I buy, should I not buy? So they most likely buy out of guilt. Now, they may not be the one you are looking for, but their guests are the client you're looking for. So as we serve you, we are not serving you, but we are serving your guest who is our next client. And that's why at the event, we also have a visitor's registration book of your guests. It's not for you, it's ours. It's our database. But you see, when you've come to the event and there's a book, people always think it is the owner of the event who is registering. So we'll send them an appreciation message, appreciating them for consuming our juice, and then we build a database. So how does Senjoy get to Kololo? First of all, Senjoy needs to get to Kololo and find out what type of coffee is here. What kind of questions do the people in Kololo ask? The kind of questions they will ask you will be the type they asked you when you came to our office the other time. Of what are the benefits? When they look at the packaging, it's not telling them the benefits. Because they are the Lugezi-gezi type like Caro, they feel they know more. So they're asking, so you said it has this. What rations? Did you measure them? Now you're there, you're stammering because you don't have the answers. But there's Caro in Lueza. Majani is Majani. Eh? So you bring, I buy. And I'm comparing you with the one of the neighbor. So I'll buy at your price. Now the other one, someone give me Vicky's samples there. Jocelyn, you get me those candles there. All of them. I think they're about 3. So you see, if you've been to my office, you've seen different types of candles, yeah? But when I saw this, I don't know if it was a marketing strategy she had. She's very aware she has not given me any of these tins before. But I know she didn't come with the intent of selling to me. But for the first time, I'm looking at smaller tins of candles that I was not going to buy until I opened, and it was coffee. Immediately my mind ran, my coffee candles have run out. I have to replace this one. So whether I wanted to buy, she has played on my psychology. I will definitely buy. That even if I didn't have the money and I hadn't planned, I would tell her, can I have this? And on Monday, your money will be with you. She benefits nothing saying no and running back with her candles, while on Monday she will have her money. You get what I mean? Now, how you package determines how you close. Because when you read this, it has already told me it's roasted coffee. But it has pure soy wax. She has even gone ahead and done the measurements and said they are 200 grams. How many candles do you find with this level of detail? So even if she told you to have 50,000, it is either you will say, Kalunji naye, badde mbulamuko. Then she'll be able to ask you, so how much can you afford? Do you mind paying what you have? Nsigalenga nkubanja. So because you're excited and also you fear the embarrassment of being given the leeway to pay the balance, you will take, well, even when you're grumbling, but she has closed you off. Then she walks into a room and finds Jocelyn, who loves color. She will close her with this color. She may not close Carol with this one. And because it is small, so when she opens, she finds a mixed scent, vanilla and lavender. They will tell her a price. She's excited because she has never seen a candle like that. She will know, I will use my candle conservatively, but let me buy it. Because of who Jocelyn is, the student in her would want all her friends to know she could afford such a candle. It will be on her status all the time. So by default, she starts marketing the person without even knowing. Mind game. So you also have to play mind game in your marketing strategy. So for instance, you knew very well, let's say we are taking the annual planning workshop that we're having next year is going to be at Skies. Now, you can't show up and after you've sold to us, your packaging is in a black Cavera. Your packaging is in a blue Cavera. Then another one shows up with craft bags like that. We will carry those bags. We shall leave you and your black Cavera, and we say you are not practicing environmental protection. Because that's the caliber of the people there. So before you sell to the group. Now, if you notice when you were selling to me your coffee for the first time, I was not comfortable with the price you told me. You realize that? And immediately I told you, increase the price to this. Now it was the buyer telling you to increase the price. But I'm sure not many have told you to increase the price. Why? Where I come from, my networks buy coffee at a certain amount. Now you have stumbled on a customer. That's what you call, I just, in error, landed on a customer. That should start giving you antennas that this is the caliber I want to increase. So then you start being intentional, say, I need Carol's networks. Can she refer to me? That's why I am sure you've tried to sell your product in meetings of this nature, but in different spaces. And your win rate probably, if success, you needed to talk about your coffee to 20 people before you sell to 3. But you came to my space, you talked to 3, sold to 3. Isn't that what happened? Simple. So the people that understand your product, once you land on the market, you close the sale very fast. So because you go to Kololo and they know the benefit of having roasted coffee. So they'll ask you the questions because they have a market they know. So they'll look at you, you come and price yourself low, they'll consider you a gambler. They'll say, is this thing genuine? That's why they were even asking you the questions that day. Is this thing genuine? Do you really trust your product? Why? Even you were scared, even when you were marketing. That's the feedback I can give you. Because every time you seem scared when you're marketing, someone is wondering, you get it? And yet your product is good. Me, that's what I can tell you. If your customers have not been telling you. Me, when I took it, I marketed to the whole office. They were not yet drinking the coffee at that time. They were taking other teas. But as soon as I said, you people, this coffee, it does ABCD. And I told them my experience of the 3 days, I slept better. That's what I can tell you. So I'm sure someone who is listening would at one point say, I want to find out that coffee that made someone sleep better. I slept better. Before, I would struggle with trying to catch sleep for 4 hours and not wake up in the middle of the night. For the last 1 week or so, I have woken up at the right time. So I've gotten to work, rested, but also it functioned as a cleanser. And yet there were benefits you never told me about. So in my research language, it's called the unintended benefits. But the unintended benefits become the reason I would come back to buy. You get? Not the benefits you're selling. Now, you have to study your product. If you are in the business world, reading becomes a part of who you are. Reading, where you feel you can't read, get a team that can do what you can't do. Study what's the benefit of okra, what's the benefit of soy, everything have the details. Speak from an informed point of view. You see, it was easy for me to market your product to the people who I hadn't tested, but I told them, the tea is very nice, because I was trusting, I know where to find you if the thing is not good. I was sure if people come back when the thing is not nice, I'll just come back, go too feder. I don't know, because of me, I don't know how to keep quiet. You come and market in our business forum at church and be like, in fact, we are tunda. In fact, I also lost friends because of him. You would fear to lose that market. So you do a good job. So when you go to Kololo, know someone in Kololo. Don't kutomera Kololo. Till you went into a virgin land, it is written. I think it's Genesis 26 somewhere. Isaac shows up in a land. It's a dry land. And he prospered in that land. Then you say, you go with your scriptural direction. God has not even directed you. Let's say, if Isaac prospered in the land, and I'm a seed of Isaac, my friend, you say seed of Isaac, go and do the research about that land. Because by the time Isaac dug wells in that land, that's research. Go and dig wells in that land to confirm, will it work? And the mistake you don't want to make, don't give me options by saying, have you ever tested? The moment you tell me, have you ever tested cappuccino? My brain goes to cappuccino. My taste buds are already drinking cappuccino. So you're trying to sell, but I'm already drinking cappuccino. And because cappuccino is a brand, tested, tried, no one has tried you. You are the only one who is your research. You're still collecting your data. You're comparing yourself with one who is already made out. As soon as you're out, I will go and sip a cappuccino. Because you created a hunger for someone. So you did marketing for someone else, in other words. Now, when you get to Kololo, close one cell. Don't just go and build the place. So among the things we do what they call a market survey. So I come to her, she stays in Kololo. And I ask, how much coffee do you take around here? And how much do you averagely buy your coffee? So she tells me, another sample, another sample, another sample. So I'm a researcher, so that comes naturally with what we do. So after we have found out what people naturally pay in that place, we now look for where to put our coffee that they can find. And because you want to close them and get them off buying from Garden City their coffee, I drop samples. I drop samples so they are aware where we are located and they can find me. To buy that customer, you add options of we can deliver. So you're giving all options of them not buying from anywhere else. Yeah? You can also give options of you can buy in prepayments. So they buy ahead of what they will consume. So you have the prepaid buying. Another way you can do that is, so in that landscape, they host events. Yeah? So you can choose a tea party. So your tea party is coming as a marketing strategy. So it's come drink coffee. Coffee with us, but coffee with us comes with a public speaker. You get what you'd call a coffee meeting. So you give a free service of a public speaker, but behind it you are selling your coffee. And as soon as you hit the ground, your business card is moving around. You get what I mean? So after you've captured that, but if you came with a tea party here, tujja kunywa coffee wo, tutamire coffee, tukwerabire. But you also gave us the same product, but the other ones will remember the public speaker that had coffee at the event. Yeah. So the other details around it are better if we are working on your business plan and we look at all your trails and study who are your most likable customers. From consuming your coffee, these are the number of customers I thought about. I thought about you thinking about partnership with HNT. HNT does all the products you provide. They can actually purchase from you because they price higher than your price. So you can actually be their distributor. The other product chain I can think about is start thinking about hosting tea parties. Yeah? Hosting tea parties have complementaries. So for instance, you wanted to host a tea party, and then we had an event like this one. You'd say, can I supply you with tea for that day? You get your money for your tea. Yeah? You get your money for your tea as we run our workshop. You get your money, you've sold. And at the same time, you'd have rations of that nature. So if you had partners that run meetings of this nature, about 50 of them, and you're running 50 tea parties every quarter, you're in business. You get. So creatively, think what other options do I have to sell? Another product line I can think about in your space, so that is if I was the one doing your business. Me, I don't know what your spirit feels about the business, but for me, that's what I would do. I would offer a training for the Gen Zs in the room who want to do business like mine. You get? So when I offer the training, it's a training school. I mean, you can't supply coffee to all the 45 million Ugandans in this short time. But if I train them, multiply me. So after I have trained them, they may not all have the capital to start. So they become my sublets. They make, we supply. So I've increased my supply chain. That's another way of increasing your provisions. What are the other, what is that they do at Ethiopian Village? They roast coffee? Yeah, so you host events for evening dialogues, roasted coffee. At the roast coffee event, you supply also your beverages. You get what I mean? So be very deliberate at how you handle the diversity of the market. Because not all of us drink tea. It's the corporates are the ones who drink a lot of tea by now. So you want to sell to them more than anything. Get to Bread House, sell to them. But then, because Bread House is a brand well. Your branding becomes very critical. You get? One of the things I know is that when we are startups, we fear engaging experts. But they're not expensive. When we were starting the juice chain, we learned we had to measure the mangoes to know the weight of every mango. And if it's these kgs, how many jerry cans of juice can it produce? So the measurements gave us consistency in terms of how we delivered. Like you see, when someone tells me this is 200 grams, I will trust her enough because she has gone the extra mile. But recently, I think they were showing us some sugar bags. It reads a certain quantity, but when they measured them, they were different. You get? Now, when they were buying them, they bought the measurements. The other details came later, probably someone discovered something. But their packaging closed them off as standard measurements. Now, it is hard for me to assume. That's why I'll pick that tin and I'll ask, how much is this peanut butter? So this is for learning purposes. You see, this is not branded. Now, it takes for me to guess what size is this. You get? So when she tells me this much, I am trying to recall peanut I bought in the supermarket. I'm like, oh, it was 250. So then I'm asking her, so how many grams are these? So, but in the supermarket is this. Why? The other one was, the measurement was complete. So you're able to close me without a lot of negotiations. Now, that's the mistake we make when we are startups. But those stickers don't cost much if you talk to Christian believers in the product line like Julius. They do for you nice stickers. Sometimes they even give you excess. Sometimes you ask Julius for one sticker, he gives you 3. Then you're like, now do I pay for 3 flyers? Do I pay for 1? So you're confused. And you ask yourself, oh, why I choose this one? But then you like all of them. First of all, he gives you all of them when they're nice. So you're like, now if he monitors my status, and I've used both, and I paid for 1. But you had asked him for 1. So it is a shame that now gets out of you and say, let me just pay for the 3 flyers because I'll use them. But if you find hardcore marketeers like some of us also, so me, I asked him for 1, why did he give me 3? But why he's doing that, he's playing mind game as well. So by the time he plays it on marketeers also like us, we know he's playing mind game. And one of the things he has learned the free giving service. He's quick to tell you, that is my seed into your business. So if you find a believer and you've told them it's a seed in their business, they already know the mystery of seed time and harvest. It means he's partaking of all my blessings in the business. You get? So it's like, this guy is playing politics on me because that's what he has told you. So now you're realigning yourself to your biblical principles and like, Gaya bazakachi. But how many times have you sowed seed? You get what I mean? But also you need to sow it in fertile ground. Because there is ground that's not fertile. And yet it is not the type where they have told you it's like Isaac's land. So where the land is fertile. But also, I also believe in another thing. If I sell to you at 0 cost, and I sell to her at 0 cost, sincerely, unless my salvation is 20%. Someone can come to try to sell another product to someone in her network, and she forgets me. But kaalokoka bulungi. And I'm not here to measure salvation. That's not what I'm doing. But what I'm trying to say is the intuition that you have will immediately tell you, but the other person, they were good to me. So you quickly should start saying, I know someone, and they are good. Let me give you their contact. She'll even most likely say, and they are cheap. Why? Because you sold at zero. Zero was cheap. And they are cheap. So it's the other person how to deal with it, how cheap was cheap. Now the service price is not it. You get. Now, also when you're going to Kololo, tomalaga tomera Kololo. Gena n'abantu abagitegeera. Because if I'm going to sell to Gen Zs like this, I told you I won't show up like this. I will look for Julius. Ajja kunjogererayo. They understand Julius's language better. Because now if you found me among Gen Zs, the language is mwana kabongem. Now I go and kubonga dressed like this, really. Like, we will not close that sale. So sometimes we are too serious. The reason why we don't close some sales, we're too serious. You come like they have sent you, like the prophet that has come to deliver bad news. But you come to sell. You're not there as a prophet declaring new things for the season. Do this, this will happen. Sell with the intention of, I close you today or no other day. Even if it means sitting there with Kavozi for you, I'll sit. Does that answer me? Any other question? I say our lunch is served. Why it's lunch or why it's dinner? We can take the questions with the working meal. Does that work for us? You can write them down also if you don't want to ask openly, and we'll respond to them. Moses, you have something to say, right? Yeah, so as we have our lunch, I think the team will make any other announcements, and then we see how to help each other grow. Like I told you, one of my greatest passions, maybe that will go off record. One of my greatest passions, I tell people, why do I do this that I'm doing today in that? If I would be far. But I also want to believe that probably my pastor stood on the pulpit and said these things and my ears didn't hear. That is also possible. But now that I know, I aggressively reach out and say, someone can do better than me. Someone doesn't have to hit the dead end like I could have possibly hit if I was by myself. Part of the reasons maybe it's easier for me when I was starting out, there were crazy people like the Juliuses, the Allens, that believed in a woman with just a vision. Because all I came, I sold to them a vision. And I didn't know what entailed that vision, but all I could say, the Lord has told me. Fear a person who tells you the Lord has told me. Because when things are not working out, they're also not sure which part and when did the Lord say, and where does it branch off from. But these people believed in me. But I think they believed also right, maybe also the Holy Spirit helped them along the way. We hit rock bottom together. The team actually encouraged me. When it seemed like it was failing, they would say, but we can try this. And they still encourage me to this day. Sometimes you feel like, I think we should cancel this. And then they'll tell you, no, let's not cancel. Let's go ahead with it. Now, it is difficult when you're by yourself, when you're the one canceling yourself, and most times you're canceling yourself out. Then you're also the product line, and then you're the one customers are abusing the other side. So that's where we come in and say, can we be your shock absorbers? Let's walk with you in this business. And by walk with you is you have to bear with our ranting. Sometimes you will not feel like picking our calls, and we'll understand. But we shall still call you anyway. You get? Sometimes you feel like, never know about stressing. Tebayina byakola. To tell you the truth, we have a lot to do and to call you. We have a lot. Because even if we stepped out now, the reports that are waiting for us, Like I said, she's my boss. I now get a notification email by Tuesday if I don't deliver on a certain report to her. Yeah? But she has found me here making a lot of noise about other products, and yet I have a product to deliver to her anytime soon. Now, why am I giving you this prefix? I'm not saying timutwagale nnyo, eh? I'm not saying it because we want you to love us. No. If it is love, we'll go to the streets and give free food. And they will love us. Social media will take pictures of us, NTV will take pictures of us and say, Bali is the street children. But that's not where the Lord sent us. For me, I believe the Lord sent me to a small business like yours. Because from what I know about my scriptures, a little one shall be 1,000. And behind each one of you, I see people leading thousands of clientele businesses. But it starts from something small. But you see, that faith of a mustard seed is where you are. That sometimes you want to give up. I've been there. I'll tell you a scenario. In 2022, when we had just started out, someone was telling me today that every time I tell them we started in 2022, should I believe? I drove. After I had paid salaries, I think for 3 months, and I felt like our money is running out. But you see, I can't tell that team that I'm anxious. They see boss show up in her suit, she looks confident, but you're dying inside. So I drive back in the parking of my home. I turned off the car engine and I cried like a baby. And then I knew that it was okay to cry sometimes. And I'm here to tell you it's okay to cry sometimes when you feel like the business is going rock bottom. Why did I cry? I was spending, I was not seeing the money in. And you will feel like that at some time. Someone is saying. So you will sit in there and you tell yourself, must I continue? I'm here to encourage you, please continue. That one day will come. There was a time in our history that even selling a product of 500,000, I think, Alan, there was a time you budgeted our proposals at 350,000 per day. It can get to that level, of like you've tried 500 and people are not buying. Then a change happened when I did an interview with a UN agency for a project in 5 countries. And we had never tried multiple countries before. So they asked me, how much will you charge as your daily rate? In my head, I started thinking, if I tell them this, suppose they don't give me. And besides, we didn't apply for it. But then within me, I wanted to say $1,000 US per day. And I was afraid to say it. But in the midst of fear, I just said it. And I'm like, I've lost this job. Like, I've lost it. So I signed off in my head that we had lost the work. 2 days later, I get an email, and we were the successful one, and that bought us at $1,000 per day for 90 days. It was like breakthrough moment of like, if I wrote in the Christian version of me, I said the double-lived gates have been opened. Yeah? But that lifted our confidence, and then we now started telling our clients, if you can't buy us at 650,000 per day as the highest person on the team, but coming with 2 other members on the team at 500,000, implying if you can't buy us at 1.6 in Uganda, we don't sell to you. And our clients have bought from us. No one has negotiated us back to 350 again. The only places maybe sometimes they negotiate us at that price is in our church spaces, because I think church is used to having us free of charge. There they can renegotiate you. But our clients have not negotiated us. So I'm trying to encourage you that you can sell to your dream clients. But how do you get there? Someone needs to walk the journey with you. Someone needs to encourage you that it's okay to wear those boots sometimes and step into the mud and get your hands dirty. When people see me at events, dressed in an apron, they sometimes get confused. Are you one and the same person? But me, my mother taught me that money, money is gold. I will dig money anywhere. Tell me now that there is a deal and there is money. And all I need to go is go and support yourself, Katoga, and you give me money. I'll take off this outfit. I'll get your apron on. May you pay me my money. Money is gold. I was telling one of the guys yesterday that the only thing believers don't reject, if you bring them food and they didn't like you much, they'll say, "Onabaza kachi, alabika ndoze mu mmere eno." Give them money. They don't believe you bewitched them in money. They will receive it. So that's how we learned how money is gold. That's why people don't even fear stealing money from shrines. So because it has money in it, my friend, make money. Don't be afraid to make money. Yes, Jocelyn. Yes.
Okay. My other question is about the price of Senjoy. When I started Senjoy, I was selling the aroma only.
Sorry?
When I started Senjoy,
Yes.
I was selling the aroma of Senjoy. Within the walk with my customers, I discovered that
Let me just cut a bit. Do you mind if we had this table serve food as we continue? Then we can answer the questions as we go about. Is this table okay with that? Are we in consensus that people do lunch as we? Okay, sure.
As I said, when I started Senjoy, I was selling the aroma of Senjoy only, knowing that I'm selling the aroma. Within the walk of selling Senjoy, I started discovering that I'm not only selling the aroma, but also the nutritional product. On the part of the nutritional product, that needed me to increase the price. Now I'm discovering again more benefits of Senjoy. How can I go about it in the pricing?
Have you?
I'm selling many benefits at a lower price.
One, market research. That's one. Do your market research about each of these individual products. I think it's putting yourself on a crazy gallantin, trying to sell okra, trying to sell soya, trying to sell what? Okay, all those products in, and pricing them like you are selling just one. I think it's crazy, and usually that happens because you're desperate to sell. And why would I be desperate to sell? Because I've been in that place before where you're desperate to sell. The reason I am desperate to sell is I don't trust myself enough. I think someone is better than me. I am desperate enough for the small money. You get? And the place of desperation makes us price ourselves wrong. The place of desperation makes us talk about our challenges before the product. I come and tell you all the problems I have at home before I tell you the product. I mean, I am not a counselor, so I don't know why you're trying to give me your challenges at home. Sell me the damn product. Is all I'm looking for. Now, because of the challenges, after you've told me your challenges, I then know you're desperate enough for the money. So whatever price I offer you, you'll take it. Because you sold to me desperation before the product. You get what I mean? So be very deliberate that as you're selling, you're not very desperate. In fact, you're not desperate because you can walk away with your product after. So don't sell the other version. The other one is for you to take in your secret chambers with your God and your counselor if you have any. Here, you're here to sell. And that's it. That's the only business you have with the client, to sell and sell. And because many of the people you're going to sell to are our believers in church, because that's your first temptation to try to sell. When they don't buy from you, don't get mad. Because in your getting mad, you're giving birth to a witchcraft spirit within. Because you're angry at everyone. You become rebellious towards everyone. And we only know what the Bible tells us about rebellion. So before you know it, it becomes now a spiritual war that you're dealing with, but you created it yourself. Don't get mad at rejections. Manage rejection positively. I want you to use me as your reference. How many events have you seen me sell at my church? But have I closed out a business? Don't I stay true to my obligations according to my scripture mandate to my church? I do. When you went to that church, it was not your marketplace. So we need to first of all differentiate the marketplace and the church. Lest you're going to get there and you'll be mad at everyone that you fellowship with. In fact, when you find them taking tea and you visit their homes, you're annoyed. You always start making statements like, by the way, we have already served you to take our tea in our house. Stop asking us if we have ever taken Senjoy. The reason why you ask, you're now angry. So before you know it, you're not visiting brethren because when they even fear to serve you tea. In fact, they'll tell their colleagues, when that guy visits, the mwaka chai if you don't have Senjoy in your house. So that you remain with a relationship. Yes, so I have been reminded that until I stop talking, people are not going to eat. So because of that, I'm going to be mindful to allow people have a meal. It's already late. We are not sending you into fasting today. There is first a space of making people fast when they don't know why they are fasting. Not right. So I will pray for our food. Can I ask Sylvia to just pray for us?
Father, Lord, we want to thank you for the news that you've provided. We thank you for the plans that you've used in the King of Glory and those that you've used to prepare that meal. We pray that you will sanctify, restrict,